Peace. I'll make a quick video today about my experience getting a visa to go to Ghana. The reason that I'm even making the video is because I recently came across a short on YouTube, and it was saying that the United States Embassy, the Ghanaian Embassy in the United States is being shut down due to some corruption in its IT department. So let me go back to 2023. 2023, I was going to go to Cote d'Ivoire, the Ivory Coast, to visit my wife and my daughter. But I spent a lot of time in Cote d'Ivoire, and I never had a chance to go to Ghana and really spend any time in Ghana, visiting the Cape Coast, Cancun National Forest, Accra, Greater Accra area. So I had a little time, so I figured I would, as a buffer between the United States and Cote d'Ivoire, I would go to Ghana, right? Initially at this time, there were some things going on in my life in terms of, taking care of my mother and her home. We had an insurance issue, which basically put us out of our home for, 9 months, close to a year, I would say. So going and visiting my wife and my daughter was kind of it was necessary, just to keep in communication, with my wife and daughter. It was, basic thing, had to be done. But as I was going through the visa process with the Ghanaian embassy, I had every type of issue that you could possibly imagine. And I was working with a lady at a FedEx, sending faxes and this, that, and the other thing. And it was terrible. Terrible. Fax things, they did not get there. Scan things, different type. We need a different type of file. We need this. We need that. We need this. We need that. And literally, I think that visa took me almost a month to get that visa. But the thing was, you had to have a hotel reservation and a flight reservation to be able to get the visa. So I had all of these things, and I still could not get the Ghanaian embassy in Washington, D.C. to follow through and give me a visa. Not give me a visa, I purchased the visa. Well, let me see how much I paid for it. Looks like I paid $160. Yeah, $160 for a 3-month visa in Ghana. All right. So, I did everything under the sun to get this visa, and it just seemed to never go through. But finally it went through. I got the visa, not through the embassy in Washington, D.C., but through the consulate in New York City. That's how I got my visa. So fast forward to the day. I see a YouTube short from a Ghanaian channel, a Ghanaian television channel, or content creator. I'll put it in the title exactly where I got it from. And they give this story about this corruption that's going on in the Ghanaian embassy. And I was like, I knew good and well there had to be some reason for the inefficiency of a embassy of a developed nation such as Ghana, and also an English-speaking nation. So it's a little bit different when there may be a language barrier or something, but with Ghana, there shouldn't be a language barrier. And to be truthful, in the interim, I sent my passport to the embassy of Cote d'Ivoire in Washington, and I got my visa 3 days. No problem. But then with Ghana, which I thought with Ghana it would be simple, but it turned out to be a nightmare. I wound up having to buy another flight. The visa didn't come before my original flight came. And all of the action, I wasn't able to cancel the ticket for the flight for Air Qatar. So I wound up paying for 2 tickets. Hotel reservations. And it put back my arrival in Abidjan in Cote d'Ivoire. But I'll just say that notice that there had been some corruption going on in the Ghanaian embassy, that's very disappointing. Out of all the African nations that I have traveled to, I never would have expected Ghana to have presented such a problem as it did. It's really a travesty, because when I did arrive to Accra and Ghana, I had a wonderful time, wonderful people, delicious food, and it was all that it was worth to me to make that trip to Ghana. So nothing against the people of Ghana. It totally has to do with whatever happened in your embassy here in the United States. But again, I'll say special thanks to the consulate in New York, the Ghanaian consulate in New York. So if you're ever trying to get a visa to Ghana, my advice to you is to go through the consulate in New York versus going to the embassy in Washington, D.C. And shame on these persons that have committed this fraud in Ghana's name. That's just a wicked thing. Okay? So, like, subscribe, and continue to tune in to the channel. All right. With that, I say peace. Have a great day.